Hello. Welcome back to another Legacy CNC project video. Now, if you are a furniture maker and you're considering and looking into CNC to help with your furniture manufacturing, then this type of furniture piece might be right up your alley. Today, we are going to be finishing off the last component for the floating sidewall table. So far, we've done the tabletop in previous videos, as well as the rail structure. In this video, we're going to focus specifically on the arched legs. So come with me, let's head on over to the wood shop and let's walk through the process of how to make these arched legs on the Maverick 4x4 CNC system. On top of producing the legs, we will cover the assembly process and also break down what we use to build this floating side table project, including CAD/CAM software, tooling, hold-down fixtures, and equipment. The legs will have a four-sided arch design that requires each face to be shaped. Traditionally, this would be done using a bandsaw and then finished with templates and a lot of sanding. We are going to speed up this process by using the Turning Workstation that is integrated into Legacy's Maverick CNC to index and machine all four sides. The blanks are fixtured between centers with a faceplate ring that is mounted into a self-centering four-jaw chuck. This process doesn't have to be perfect because the blanks are oversized to leave an extra 1/8 inch of material along each face. The main cutting technique that will shape the legs is called swerve cutting. This is when the side of the tool profile is used instead of the bottom. The tool used here is a large 3/4 inch down spiral cutter that has a 4-inch cut length. While prototyping these legs, John learned a few tips. First, always climb mill during a swerve cut where the edges are exposed. Second, whenever the swerve cut is getting larger or deeper, lighten your step over passes. Here the roughing passes are an 1/8 inch step over, while the finished pass was only a 1/16 of an inch. Third, at the starting and ending points of each arch profile, remove excess material to prevent overloading the material or cutter. This was done earlier by pre-drilling holes. Because this is a down spiral cutter, the drilling has to be close to an edge so the chips could clear. Before repeating the arches on the other two sides, a 1/4 inch drill places the holes in the exact position to match the outer rail hole pattern we did in the last video. After rotating the part 90 degrees, the entire shaping process is repeated with the same toolpath techniques, except the arches are mirrored from the first two sides. The final process uses a 1/2 inch spiral to pocket the 3/4 inch round mortises for the bottom shelf dowel. This was cut with a 10,000th allowance to compensate for glue. In total, it took just over 20 minutes to cut this leg, and all that's left is trimming the ends to length and finish sanding. Now let's move on to the assembly process. Since the subassembly of the tabletop and rail structure was already done in our last video, all that's left is attaching the legs and the bottom shelf. The joint that connects the legs to the rails is also a decorative feature of the table. But like any feature, it also needs to be functional and stable. We used epoxy to secure 4 brass dowels for each joint, and 3/4 inch spacers were placed between each leg and rail as clamps pressed the brass dowels into place. During the prototype, we tried this with wooden dowels, and they snapped under the pressure. Brass dowels not only provided the stability we needed, but also gave the project an awesome decorative contrast. The bottom shelf seats into the 3/4 inch dowels that span between the legs. This locks the leg spacing into place and helps support the brass pin joints. Now let's quickly break down what we used to build this entire project. First, we'll begin with software. The designer John Hennon designed this entire project in Vectric's Aspire CAD/CAM software. Every part was completely toolpathed in Aspire except for the legs. To work on all 4 sides of the legs, we needed to index the legs to each face. This was done using Legacy's CCAM Pro software. CCAM is able to import toolpath files created from Vectric and combine them with rotary toolpaths, eliminating the need to run multiple toolpath files for each side. Aspire is by far our favorite 3-axis CAD/CAM software to use with a Legacy CNC. Check out Aspire at vectric.com. When combined with Legacy's CCAM Pro software, we can take full advantage of Legacy's Turning Workstation. CCAM Pro is also available for purchase with every Legacy CNC system. For tooling, we used 8 cutters in the CNC and 1 on the router table. For the CNC, we used a 1/4 inch drill and an 1/8 inch drill. Tooling from PreciseBits.com included the 30-degree V-groove. From Magnate.net included the 1/2-inch core box, a 3/4 down spiral, a 1/2-inch down spiral, a 1/4-inch down spiral, and an 1/8-inch up spiral. On the router table, we used a 1/4-inch corner rounding tool. When it came to equipment, we used the Legacy Maverick 4x4 CNC system with the vertical and turning workstations. All 3 workstations were used to give the cutters access to each part face. These workstations, found on Legacy CNC Systems, produced every detail for single-sided parts, double-sided parts, multiple step components, and multi-sided spindles. 3 types of hold-down fixtures were used on the CNC. First, the low-pro side clamps on the horizontal T-slot table fixture. These low-pro clamps have become our go-to clamping fixture for any hardwood component. The clamps provide substantial side clamping force while continuously guiding the material downwards, reducing the risk of parts lifting or coming loose during the machining process. Contact Legacy to get your low-pro clamps and improve your T-slot table fixture. The second hold-down fixture used are the strong hand 5/8 inserter clamps. These plug directly into Legacy's vertical clamping fixtures that run along the width of the Maverick CNC systems. The third hold-on fixture was the self-centering 4-jaw chuck combined with a faceplate ring to hold the part between centers. The total cutter downtime took 3.5 hours to produce all the parts for this project. A big thank you out to John Hennon for designing and producing this entire project. It came together beautifully. As well as a big thanks to Blake Nelson for helping provide and choose the material for the project, and for Scott Billings for applying the professional finish. Now this next part may not be for you, but if you're interested, Legacy is making project plans like these available on our website to purchase at legacywoodworking.com/projects. We'll leave the link in the video description below. On the website, you'll not only find projects that are available, but also a full schedule calendar of hands-on CNC workshops that you can register for and come here to our facility to build CNC projects with the Legacy team. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project, and as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video.